we're going to talk about the concept of unfairness and what does unfairness mean and how does unfairness play into our world and why does that limit us and with the things that we want to create. I noticed a theme amongst people who were still stuck in that scarcity mindset that they had a story. They had a story of something that happened to them and that made them feel like it wasn't fair. Like this was unfair. How dare this happen? Maybe someone cheated on you. Maybe someone died early. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you don't have money or enough money that you want. Maybe something happened and you felt like it was outside of, your control. And this is where we find out, are we in our power or we aren't? I want you to stay with me for this episode because it might trigger you somewhat. It might not, but I'm going to tell you, if you can understand the concept of this, it's going to really help you shift into a new awareness, a new belief, and allow you to have more wealth to come into your life and into your business. So if we have an unfairness story, we usually have something that we felt powerless around. Like, gosh, why did this happen to me? Why did this experience happen? And you know what? I actually felt like I had no control over it. And when we feel like we don't have control, guess what? We feel like something has control over us. So the situation had control over us. We felt like we couldn't, voice ourselves. We couldn't speak up. And then what happens is it puts us into a story of not being in our power. Now, this goes hand in hand with our lack and scarcity mindset, because that also then the root of that is something that's unhealed in us, that's making us feel that we might have had something happen to us and we want to blame someone else for why it happened. So here pops up that victim mindset again, right? So if you ever have a story where you're like saying, gosh, that was unfair. Do you know what happened to me? Do you know what they did to me? Do you know this experience, affected me, changed me forever? And you'll hear when a lot of people who have like physical ailments, they'll talk to you and they'll lead with their ailment. Well, I've got a bad back. I've got this. I've got knee thing. I overcame this. They identify with the thing that happened to them because it's unfair. It's unfair that they have a bad knee. It's unfair that this happened. Why don't they have perfect knees? Why don't they have, a situation? Or why did their significant other, cheat on them? Why did they have this situation? Why did they get the job? And what it comes down to is how long we're going to let that unfairness story live in us. How long are we going to let that unfairness story take control of what's happened in our lives? Or when are we going to step in, be in our power, and then have control over that story and that situation? Now, this sounds really easy, and this is why I have an amazing program called Accessing the Quantum through Emotional Self-Mastery. I help teach you how to get into your power so you don't let those emotional situations that happen in your life have control over you. This is why emotional mastery is paramount to having infinite wealth, having an abundance come in your life, because you cannot be in abundance and in scarcity at the same time. So if you have this, it's so unfair story, then this story is going to lead and it's going to be the lens that you see life through. It was unfair. Do you know what happened to me? And what it also does is it doesn't allow for, accountability for self. Like, how can I be self-accountable? I'll give you an example. Things happen, shit happens, right? Now we can decide whether or not that thing that happened is who we are, our story we tell, our identity, how we live our lives, or we can decide, okay, maybe it was unfair. Maybe that was, I didn't get the luck of the draw with dads. I didn't get the luck of the draw with, I don't even know what it feels like to have a decent, relationship with your father, in a sense. Like, I could sit there and go, well, this is really unfair. Or I got divorced. I could say that was unfair. Or, I was a single mom. Or I can decide, okay, this is going to be the situation, and I'm going to decide how I want to feel about it. Where am I going to step into my power in this situation? Or am I going to allow the unfairness of the situation to keep me limited and to keep me feeling like I don't have the power to change what I want, or become who I want to be? So equality is amazing. Women and men have different standards, how things have been done over the years. But I never go, because I'm a woman, I should get more. Because, I'm a minority, I should have more. Because then I'm labeling myself like, oh, it's unfair. I don't want to come through with that mindset. I want to be able to stand on who I am and be in that power. I'm giving you an example of something else. Now, the unfairness story, people don't even realize they're doing it. They don't even realize they're saying it. They don't even realize that it's coming out of their mouth. But within seconds of someone telling me a story, seconds, I can tell you what side of the fence that person lives on in that story. It's either going to be the abundant side or it's going to be the lack and scarcity victim side. It can't be both, right? You can't sit on both. And this upcoming episode that I have, I'm going to talk more about like how people look at situations and how they value them and why that also puts people into scarcity. Now, it is unfair. Some things are unfair in life, but how much longer do you want to hold on to that story of the unfairness? I told my clients, because I taught this with my clients, I said, why don't you write down all of your belief systems around, or your stories around unfairness? What does that look like in your life? Where is that story living? Because you can take that and go right to the root of it and find out where that came from. Where did the unfairness happen? Where were you not treated fairly? And I'll tell you, I had a client say to me, actually, no, I was on a podcast. And one of the gals that I was interviewing me said her husband tells their daughter that life isn't fair. So life isn't fair. That's what that she's being raised with, learning that, hey, life isn't fair. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. Don't expect fairness. Okay. Maybe we could look at life that way, or we can look at it from a life of things are always working out for me. Life is filled with abundance. Oh, you're not being realistic, Shamina. Okay, well, what are the other options? I sit there and I expect doom and gloom, or I talk about a story of it not being fair, like life's unfair. This is what happens, or I try and find the positive or the thing that I can gain and grow from it. I have to find the gain and growth from it so I can evolve. Because if I don't, I'm going to stay stuck. And I have one of two choices. I can be in abundance or I can be in scarcity. And I choose to be in abundance because I choose to change the way that I think and feel about things. That's not to say that certain situations don't hurt at the moment. Like, it's unfair that this happened. Okay, yeah, sure. But am I going to feed that victim mindset? Am I going to feed the limited person that's inside of me that wants to see life unfair? Am I going to take those lenses off and see, yes, abundance is sitting here for me? Let me go for it. I mean, people who are born with one limb, or they're born with legs that don't work, or is that unfair? Hell yeah. But they can sit there and feel into that unfairness. And I've seen many of them go on to do extraordinary things in their life because they decided not to be the victim. They decided that unfairness, they didn't get everything that maybe we got. They decided, you know what, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to be someone different. I'm going to allow myself to still enjoy my life, still have value, still see where the abundance is and feel into the richness of my life. And so that I can acquire more of that, or I can sit there and I can, be poor me. And, unfortunately for many people, the poor me, that, oh, this is unfair, they want to blame, that victim storyline, that it fuels their scarcity. And they don't know how to get out of it because they don't even know that they're doing it. So what I would like you to do is, when you feel like that unfairness is popping up, maybe there's a sister that's prettier than you, or a sibling that's more successful or something, and you feel like, why is that happening? This is unfair. Find out if you ever use those words. Find out if you're not owning yourself. And this is a caveat here. I'm not talking about when people are victimized and things happen. Yes, that's a situation, but still with those situations, we can decide whether or not we are what that happened to us, or what we become from it. And not too many people want to jump on this bandwagon. They want to live in that unfairness. But I'm telling you, if you want more wealth, you want more money to flow in your life, you need to let go of that unfairness story. That's just the bottom line. Because if you sit there and go, well, why did I get this, dud of a dad, or why did I get this dud of a husband, or dud of a wife, or whatever it is, why did I get all these things? Why didn't I have beautiful, long, curly hair? Why do I struggle with my weight? Why are all these things happening to me? If you sit there and you allow yourself to wallow in that, and some people are doing it even subconsciously, you don't even realize they're doing it, you are going to prevent yourself from the more that's waiting to come to you. You're going to prevent yourself from the having of the things that you are deserving of, that you are allowed to have, that are wanting to come your way. You get to have it all. You get to have all the things that you want. So if we can rewire this unfairness story and we can get to the root of it, we can have absolute change in our lives for more wealth and more abundance to come in. It is absolutely possible. I'm telling you from experience. I had the unfairness story. I had the why is this happening to me? I had all of these stories, and I chose to go and be and have more in my life than what I was before, because what it was doing before, it was not working for me. It was leading me down the road to more stories of unfairness, more inequality in my life, more places for me to say, why is this happening? Why is this going on? And there's sometimes will be a string of events. I know that I fell down in the garage a couple of weeks ago on my knees. My son had left a box at the bottom of the stairs. And I think I just told you guys the story. And I was like, why did this happen? I could have sat there and go, oh, this is so unfair. Why? I was on my way to the gym. I'm finally back at the gym, full speed again. Like, this is so unfair. What? But I let myself have a little pity moment on the ground for like a couple minutes because, you allow yourself to feel your emotions. And then I got up and I'm like, it was a fluke accident. What can I say? It doesn't have this deep, deep meaning. Maybe I just should have gone to the gym earlier. I don't know. Maybe I should have watched where I was going. Maybe I should have picked up the box when I saw it there prior, like a couple days ago, because he left it there, but I also saw it there and I kind of turned a blind eye myself. I could sit there and blame and have someone else responsible for why things aren't working out in my life, or I can take accountability for it and have that power, because this is where you get your power back, because you can control what happens in your life. But if you are not allowing yourself to be in that power position, then everything will be happening at you. You'll feel the victimness. You'll have this lack mindset. You live in scarcity. So find out where the unfairness story is. I'll tell you, this is one thing that we work in our Millionaire Mindset program. It's our 6-month program. It is a game-changing program. I think I'm going to drop the link below. You guys can, schedule a call with me or one of my team members to find out more about it. It is 6 months working on your emotional mastery, your money mindset, your feminine and masculine energy, your scarcity to abundance, all of the things. We've had anywhere from anybody from, a business owner to not having a business yet, all the way to people who are millionaires that have been in this group. So it is for everybody, because remember, money does not change the mindset. Having of the money does not change who you are. And if you want more, and if you want to make it and keep it, you want to be able to spend it, then that's what we have to work on. So there's that group. Now, write down all the stories, figure them out, see where they're rooted. And if you can't get to the root of them, you got to come join us. Come join our Quantum Woman group. Keep watching. And if you felt like someone, really could benefit from this podcast, please share it. And please, when you share it, please tag me on Instagram, Shamina Taylor. And listen, if you haven't got my book yet, Unlocking the Quantum Woman, you should go get it. It's going to be a game changer. Remember, if there is unfairness, there's resentment. And if there is resentment, there is scarcity. And when you're in resentment, you're angry, you're upset. Like, how dare this happen to me? You're in the lack. And if you're in the lack, you're not in the positive. You're not going to attract more wealth. You're going to attract more lack, because lack attracts lack. So you need to get yourself and to be able to have the tools to rewire and change that emotional state so that you now can bring in what you want. This is going to be one of the things that most people won't realize it's happening to them, because they don't even understand that they're actually in that unfairness story. They think they've gotten over a situation. Oh, well, it happened. But the moment they start talking to me, I'm like, oh, I already know. You're still in it. So dig a little deeper, go right in there. Again, go download our free daily money moves for your business and your life. If you love this episode, again, don't forget to give us a like and stay tuned for the next one. Bye for now.